Hi there, and welcome back. Shop Talk. I've been having fun with it. It's been great. I actually got reached out to by a guy, also by the name of Steve, who wants to do some interviews once I actually get started forging. So that's really cool. Hopefully, that actually happens soon. I'm hoping to get the forge fired up soon. I think I'm going to order some fire brick for it to set in to rise it up a little bit. The more I look at it, the more I'm a little bit sketched out by the depth of it, honestly. I want it a little bit taller where the work can sit a little bit higher on the grill, and I think that that's going to be okay. If it falls through, I've got a backup plan. We'll see how that goes. Sheet steel is not as cheap as I would prefer it to be, unfortunately. Anyway, today I'm going to be working on practicing my welding. And I can't capture a ton of it, but I'm going to try to capture kind of what I'm doing. But let me grab my welder real quick. So I've actually got two of them. Let's go take a look. My first one is this Pro arc welder, 115 volt, 100 amp. Yeah, no idea how to use it. The next is this Cricut 115 wire welder. This one appears to have some wire in it still. I don't know how to wire weld, and I was planning on doing some stick welding. So that's what I'm gonna do. Pretty sure you plug it in, you clamp this to your work. This could probably use some cleanup on my wire wheel, and then you use a stick and the hot end of this to add material to it. Sorry, you're kind of angular to me. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I bought some more mild steel from just the Orange warehouse. And the plan is to plug in this arc welder just into a wall because it's 115 volt. And yeah, cut some of the steel down into a couple of manageable strips, stick it in my vise, and then start practicing welding. I am going to watch a video or two to make sure that I know what I'm doing, because that sounds right and that sounds like what I've seen, but I want to make sure I'm not being stupid, because stupid is possible with me. Now, as you may have guessed, the first step towards doing this is going to be cleaning up that clamp. That clamp is right behind me. As you get a nice shot of my armpit. Oh, come on. Of course, the wire's all tangled up and wrapped up. Let's move you right there. Rotate this around. Cables. You leave them for just a short amount of time. They end up all knotted. I hope you can see that okay. All knotted. So, this welder, not originally mine, obviously. This is very old, as far as I can tell. Most of my tools are very old, because most of my tools are older than I am. I think. Most might be an exaggeration. Maybe I'm just in an exaggerative mood today. That sounds like me. I do that a little too often. I'm a hyperbolic person. It happens. But anyway, so I got most of these tools from my dad. And he's gotten them from trade shows and flea markets and garage sales, auctions, all kinds of things. So, who knows? You know what might be easier than feeding that claw all the way through? It's just the power. You know, Steven, if you stopped talking for 2 minutes, you might realize that there's a better way to do just about everything that you're doing. Think through stuff next time, bud. That was way easier. So we are unplugged. That means that our hot stick is right here. And that will go over that way. Now this. My wire welder, by the way, I did find out, does have wire in it, which is great, but I don't know how to wire weld. I've seen some of it. It seems easier. The only ones I've really seen are the only real welding I've seen is like TIG and MIG welding, which I think are forms of wire welding. But that's not my forte. It's not really, I don't have a forte in welding. That's not really what I know. I know stick welding as far as like watching how it's done and seeing how it's done kind of thing. So we're gonna try this first. The other thing is that Cricut wire welder has a lot of settings on it for the gauge and stuff. It has a full grid on the inside, which is really cool. But the stuff that I'm going to be welding or trying to weld is 3/16 inch, which is 7 gauge. And the highest one on that, it does go like 12 gauge and higher. The lower the number, the higher the gauge. 7th gauge is higher by like 4 or 5 steps than the highest gauge. It says 12 plus. So I'm a little bit sketched out by that. I might have to spend a little bit more time watching videos on that. So for now, I'm gonna throw on my ear protection and I'm gonna have you come around here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but we're gonna try to get you in frame. Right here. I'm just working on this wire wheel here. Again, I'm still unplugged, but can you see me okay? Yeah, you can see that. I've just got a tiny little viewfinder to look through, so I really don't know. I really need to attach this thing to the table, but I don't know where I want to attach it. I was thinking on the other end of the table, but I don't know if that's a good idea either. So yeah, I might even hook it up back there, but I need to figure out an orientation for my desk or for my work table. So the grinder will move back. We now have this nice copper plated bite. We're gonna investigate the hot wire here and see if that's what we want it to be. That looks like it's got some corrosion, but we're gonna try it anyway. Next step, I gotta clean up my my helmet. That's it. Now, as long as I knew my dad, he had the same welding helmet. He did get another one at one point that was gifted to him by us. But this was the helmet I always remembered. And it's nice because it's got a big old like space for you to actually see. And that's important because being able to see what you're doing is huge. If you can't see what you're doing, then why are you doing it? I forgot to bring out the Windex. I'm not really going to be able to show you a whole lot of the welding because unfortunately welding is incredibly bright, like incredibly bright. And if you try to show it through a camera, you can actually burn out the sensor of your camera. And I don't have the viewership that supports me buying another GoPro. So I'm not going to be doing that. Maybe I'm a coward. Maybe I'm wise with my money. I'm not. But I also just don't want to buy another GoPro. It's a waste of a perfectly good GoPro. And I know plenty of people like will do montages of them welding and stuff like that. I don't know how they're doing it, unless they just don't care about their the sensor in their camera. You can blow that thing out real quick, like unbelievably quick. So that won't be me. That will not be me. And if you're really interested in watching a comprehensive tutorial on welding, I'm not the channel to be watching. My buddy Josh, I won't give out his last name because he, I don't know what his feelings on privacy are, but I know that I wouldn't want just some random channel mentioning my full name unless I gave it out first. And he does not have a presence on the interwebs that you would necessarily recognize, which is totally fine. It's one person's way to live. He's actually the one that gave me an old Subaru HVAC blower, old 2015, which I guess is 7. Wow, that's 7 years old now, as of the recording of this video. But that's, he gave me an HVAC blower from a 2015 Subaru STI that I've got to buy some components for. I did a quick test, just a real quick test on swapping that over from AC to DC using my standing battery charger for cars, because it's got a 12 volt 2 amp setting, which is like perfect. And I'm a little sketched out by the options available on Amazon for converters from AC to DC, especially in the 12 volt 2 amp class, because they just seem like chintzy, cheaply manufactured stuff, and probably manufactured overseas, which is honestly whatever your view is on overseas manufacturing. Do with it as you want to. Think of it the way you want to. I've seen some stuff that comes out of the overseas manufacturing ring that's fantastic. I've seen some stuff that's really shoddy, especially in the electronic space. But I've seen some decent stuff come out of Eastern manufacturers, and they do quite well, and they last a decent amount of time. But you got to pay for it. You got to pay for that kind of stuff. All right, let's see how this fits. Not at all. Tighten back down. That's a little bit better, but a little too snug. Back it off just a little bit. How's that? That's decent. That looks like a welding helmet. There's a little clip there that's loose. I think that's supposed to go right there with a little screw. Oh, that's probably to keep it in place. Oh well. And I can see through it just a little bit when I look up at my new light, which is in the window. You can't see it that well, but it does provide a little bit better illumination. It's nice. Looks almost like daylight from out there. But you can see, it's real bright like that. When I bring this down, I can actually see the light just a tiny bit, and I can see you just a very tiny bit. Otherwise, everything's dark, which is perfect. Because I don't want to be looking at this thing at all. So, I'm gonna try to weld. No, I'm not. I need to cut. I need to cut some steel. Let's go try the bandsaw, because, yeah. I got a new blade in it. You saw that video probably. Let's go. Now, this area over here, I moved a bunch of stuff in the way of, because again, I was trying out that blower that my buddy Josh gave me. Would that work? Am I stupid? Very. 1 second. This is precisely why I bought this light, because that's too much. Because it lets you see at least part of me, just an itty bitty teensy weensy little bit of me. I gotta move some stuff real quick. When don't I, you know? On second thought, we're gonna use the angle grinder. Now, why am I using the angle grinder? I'll show you why. That new blade that I bought must be the wrong teeth per inch, because that's all it was doing. GoPro doesn't focus that well on macro shots. So that's all it was doing. That's not good enough. I don't have one of those fancy schmancy, really nice automatic bandsaws that just takes its sweet time and does the job nicely. No, I've got the bandsaw that I've got. The automatic bandsaw is on the list of things to buy at some point, but I can't justify another whatever they cost at the moment. So, I'm not worried about this cut being pretty. I'm not worried about this cut being great. I'm worried about this cut cutting. I'm worried about having 2 pieces of metal at the end of this. That's literally all I care about. So, as long as I can get that, we will be fine. This is a fantastic time for me to tell you that I do post some stuff over on Instagram and on TikTok. I usually do cross-posting, so if you want to see unique content between those 2 channels, sorry, that's not me, not at the moment. I don't have the time for a full-on social media presence, unfortunately, but also kind of fortunately. So don't expect it to be every platform has its own unique content, but I used to upload to Facebook the same videos that I was uploading to YouTube. I don't do that anymore because I got sick of uploading to Facebook. Facebook is a platform that I've not been a huge fan of for a while. That did not work out well. Facebook is a platform I haven't been a fan of for a while, but a lot of people are on it. So I thought, to increase my social media presence, might be a good idea to be on that. Then I realized I just don't like Facebook and their company practices and things like that. Just not a huge fan of. I know Instagram is still Facebook or Meta or whatever, but I don't know, I like the format of Instagram better at least. And I think that seems to be the case for a lot of people. Be cutting right here. And in order to do so, we're gonna rotate this around. Make sure I'm good. Oh, you know what? I need my respirator. I'm getting more and more comfortable with the smell of hot metal. I gotta say, not even more comfortable, I'm just enjoying it. In order to keep this metal from hurting me though, I do need to file off the burrs that are on the ends of the bars. Because that, you can't see that well, there's an end on there that's gonna hurt somebody, me, very, very easily. So, we got some files over here. That should be fairly quick and easy to use. Get rid of that burr. You can't see it all that well, but it's right here. And we're just gonna go across like this. We're just gonna go across like this and take off that burr. I just found out that the jaws of my vise are uneven. Great. I know those jaws are removable. I've never done it. So that's exciting. That's something I get to do. Get these pieces of steel real close together. So I'm gonna bring it in and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Just welding this piece and this piece together in the middle. That's the plan. How this is gonna go, I don't know. You get to see my hair in an absolute mess. I'm just a mess, okay? Yeah, so I guess the scary part happens now. I gotta grab some rods. Well, this is fun. I plug in the welder. I actually get a little bit done. I do I actually have two pieces of metal that have some scoring on them. A little bit of bead, really garbage. First time welding in a long time, very long time, and even then I only did some tack welding back in the day. So I don't really know anything I'm doing. I did watch some videos and everything like that, but I blew a breaker. And the whole shop smells funky. And I know what the sound or what the smell of an electrical fire smells like, and I'm avoiding that. So I don't think I melted anything majorly. I think it's just the smell of the flux from the rod, because I stuck my rod, unfortunately. So you can see that charred bit on the end. I stuck my rod to the piece, and that happens. Apparently quite frequently to beginners. Takes a lot of practice, but this has got me sketched out. So yeah, I might have to bring in my buddy Josh to teach me how to weld, because he's a professional welder. Might have to do that. See if he's up for it. So what are we gonna do instead? I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do instead. I did see that the wire welder operates at a capacity of about 15 amps. So I'm thinking I overdrew the amperage of the house, which wouldn't surprise me at all, honestly. I bet you that breaker is not built to handle 100 amps. It's the one thing I didn't look up beforehand. So I'm glad this didn't end in total catastrophe. So, what am I gonna do? I know for sure I'm gonna open up the shop door to air this out, because this is probably not great to breathe. I'm gonna do that, hold on. It's a little better. So, I don't know what to do at the moment. I would love to start forging, but I don't have my burn-in done. I could map out a piece of steel to like make into a knife profile. That could be good. Let's try that. Not that I'm gonna be good at making knives, but why not? I don't know what the point of this video is now. Yikes. All right, so here I am. I have a metal scribe, which usually is used to just scratch a line in metal. And I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I honestly don't know what this is gonna look like, because I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I was gonna weld in this video, and now I'm not, because I'm now a little bit scared of that particular welder. I will try out my wire welder at some point, but as of right now, I think it's best if I just kind of chill out and stay away from the power tools. I've never been a huge power tools person as far as that goes, so let's go the old analog route. And I think what I kind of want to see is I kind of want to see a line here. I don't know. That might be too much of a blade. Maybe something like that, with maybe a hole here, so that we can attach the handle. Handle might end like there. Maybe. I don't know what I'm doing here. So yeah, why not? Actually, let's give it a little bit of this kind of deal. So it's got like a double tapered blade, so it comes in like that, swoops there, blade here, and that might even come up like that. I don't know yet. We're gonna rough it out. Why not? Basic shaping of our knife-shaped thing done. Now onto some hand filing. Why? Because I can. I think I will move over to a montage for that one. So, here we are a few hours later. It's been a wild ride. Today was a lot of experimentation, a lot of new things for me. Not a whole lot of stuff that I would have anticipated trying today. Welding was not on my docket. Neither was making a knife blank, or kind of a knife blank. At the end of the clip that you just saw of me grinding away on the disc grinder, my mom, who currently lives with us at the moment, stepped in and let me know that one of my kids had peed the bed during their nap. So I had to go help take care of that. There was a bit of a freak out from my older son. But it happens, you know. Anyway, so I had to go address that, and I had to cut the video or the grinding short. So it's not done, but you'll see this in just a little bit of a slide reel here. Couple of photos that I have of it, and maybe a couple of swipes that I did with just a shot of from my phone. I can't speak that well at the moment. So, yeah, overall a successful day. Still no electrical fire for the record, which is good. I do plan on trying the wire welder soon. I'm going to watch a lot more videos on that, though, before I jump in, because I'm really curious how it'll hold up to the 3/16 metal, and because I'm not sure. I don't know anything about welding other than I used to tack weld, and that was on a totally different welder. That was on my dad's big welder, and I think that was just a really big 220 volt wire welder, so, or like plugged into 220. So I don't even know. I also remedied the hair thing. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching this. It really means a lot. I'm bringing you along with me because I don't know what I'm doing, and some of you probably don't know any of this stuff either. I figured a lot of people could benefit from this, and maybe if nothing else, it brings a smile to some people's faces seeing a new maker enter into the world. I'm really excited for where this is going. I'm hoping to do my burn-in this week for my forge and really start hammering away at some hot metal. I'm really excited. And again, I'm gonna start out with some tools: cut-off tool, tong clip. I might have to make some tongs because I have a pair, or I have a couple pairs, but they're not amazing. And then from there, start working on my bottle openers, which is like my first regular project. Oh, I have an idea to do some ancient carpentry nails for a couple of religious things in my own life that I'm interested in having on hand. So that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, this is fun. If you do like this content, throw me a like. If you have something to say, you want to see something specifically out of the workshop or the Shop Talk series, let me know in the comments. And of course, as you well know, hit the subscribe button, because if it's red, you're not subscribed. And I don't know if this is the content that you particularly like, unless you do one of those 3 things. And subscriptions just keep you posted on what I'm going to be doing in the future. I do know that I haven't done any storytelling stuff in a little bit. I do plan on recording a storytelling video really soon. Really, really soon. So, anyway, until next time, have a good one.